everyone, it's Lauren and I am starting my 2011 holiday inspired looks for you to refer back to if you are going to be going to a holiday party or you just want to try it out on your own. What else? I've got my nice Christmas lights behind me to show you that these are holiday inspired looks. The first look that I'm doing today is a look that I saw on a website and I'm trying to duplicate it. I don't plan on duplicating different looks from what other people have done for this series, but this one, I saw it and I fell in love with it and I just had to try it out. Enjoy my first holiday tutorial. I saw this look on some website, and just by the way the photography was and the makeup was, I assumed that it was a Sephora ad, and sure enough it is. I'm not sure what year it's from or if it's recent or not, but nevertheless it's a really pretty picture. It's ultra dewy in some areas, so I'm going to try to recreate that look, and let's go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to take a little bit of Studio Sculpt foundation and I'm going to apply that directly on my eyelids, kind of using this as a base. I'm using a very, very thin layer. In the photo, it looks a lot like rice paper. The eyeshadow from MAC was used on her brow highlight, so I'm going to take a 252 brush and apply that directly under my eyebrows. Now I'm going to do the green all over the lid and into the crease. I'm going to use a color called Humid, which is a deeper green color. I'm using a 272 brush. It looks kind of like the 239, but it's got a little bit of an angle to it. And I'm just going to apply that all over my lid and slightly into my crease. You want to make sure that you're bringing this out slightly. So you want it to have that kind of a shape. I don't have a picture of this eye look with her eyes open and looking at you, so I'm kind of just guessing. I'm going to go through with my 224 brush, and I've got a little bit of product on there, and I'm just going to apply that into the crease. This particular eye look, the eyeshadow comes up pretty high, and especially in this inner crease area, so it's definitely more of a dramatic look. Next, I'm going to use a very deep forest green color. Since this color is limited, I would suggest maybe using a black eyeshadow just to deepen the crease. You don't want to go too heavy with it though. So I'm just applying it right into the socket of my eye, and then just on the very outer edge of my lid. Now, to give the eye a little more definition so it's not just this whole dark shade on the lid, I'm using a pale green color on my lid. It's a limited color, so I don't even want to tell you what it is, but you can use like Vex or something similar. I'm just going to apply that just on the center of my lid. And you can see, compared to the other one, I haven't even blended yet, but you can see that it just adds more shape. And in the inner corner of the eye, there's a very shiny gold. I'm using a color called Gold Mine with a pencil brush. This is a 219 brush. And then I'm going to top that off with a little bit of nylon, which will give it some more shine. So that's what we have so far. Since I can't tell what eyeshadow is underneath her eye the way that she's facing, it's just impossible to tell. I'm just going to do whatever I want, and I'm going to put that gold and bring it underneath the eye. I'm just going to take a little bit of espresso and fill in my brows. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the skin. I'm going to start off with applying a little bit of strobe cream to my cheeks and top of my nose. Then I'm going to take a little bit of, what is this, Studio Sculpt, and my new favorite product, Care Blends Oil. Mix a drop of that in with it, 2 drops. And I mix that up on my hand, and I'm going to use a 130 brush to apply that all over. Now I'm going to contour. I'm going to use a concealer. Actually, it's a color corrector. I'm going to use these two. I just need a tiny, tiny bit, and I'm going to mix my Care Blends oil with it. I'll show you. That's both of the colors on my hand. I just scraped it out with the back of my brush. And then I put a little bit of oil. I use the same back of the brush. And you can see I'm mixing it. Makes it very sheer, but it's still very pigmented. So you want to make sure that you get most of that product off. So you just want a tiny bit on your brush, okay? And even that's probably going to be a little too much. So you put it on, and then make sure you get most of it off on your hand, and then you can start buffing it. Okay, this look has a very, very dewy cheek, so it's important that you use a cream blush. In this case, I'm going to be using a lipstick. I'm using Russian Red. I've put that on my hand. Again, I'm going to mix a little bit of oil with it. I'm going to use my same brush, my 130 brush. So here it is mixed. Start out with a very light hand because you're really not going to need a lot. And then I'm just going to blend the edges with a clean 188 brush. I also noticed the model has her blush very high up, really close to the eyeshadow. So now I'm going to bring it up. And then I'm going to blend with my 188. And in the photo, the blush is very, very pigmented. So I'm going to go over this one more time. I've got a little bit more on my brush this time. This time I'm just going to stipple it on to the areas where I want it. And then I'm going to take my 188 brush and soften it in. The last step of the cheeks is putting some glitter right on the highlights of the cheeks. I was asked by a viewer to use Reflex Pearl pigment or glitter from MAC. I actually don't have that one, but a really, really similar one is Sifted Silver. But I think Reflex Pearl is a permanent glitter that you can get at the MAC Pro store. They both look really similar. You wouldn't even be able to tell once it's on. If you don't have either of those colors, you can use any glitter. There's a Reflex Gold glitter that's really pretty, but anything that just is clear, it's not gonna reflect like a pink or something like that. Something that's just essentially clear. So I'm taking a 224 brush. You can see I've already got my glitter on there, and I just pressed this into the lid of my sifted silver because you don't need a ton of product, and I'm just going to lightly place that just on the highlight of my cheek. Now if you wanted to, you could even bring this glitter all over the eye area for a more fun look. That's exactly what I'm going to do. It doesn't look like the model has this glitter on in the photo, but I just want to add it. Let me put a disclaimer out there. These glitters are not really supposed to go in the eye. Shh. However, I have been using them there for years and years and years and have never scratched my cornea, so you will probably be okay. But since they are little shards of metal, yes, they can fall into your eyeball and cut it up. So if you don't want to risk that, then don't put it on your eyelid. Me, however, I like to risk it. Ah, my eye! Just kidding. Alright, so I've done some mascara, and as far as the lips go, it kind of just looks like the model is wearing a sheer lip gloss. I'm going to be using kind of like a berry neutral color. This one's called Love Child, and I'm not going to do any liner. It's just, you know, the focus is on the eyes. Who is texting me? Okay, so here's the final look. It's not totally like the picture because the picture has sparkles all over it and her hair is like blowing in the wind and everything, so it's a lot more fun. But it is really pretty. I really like the touch of glitter on the eyes, but you don't have to do that because, again, it is not eye safe. But definitely the glitter up on the cheekbones, it really makes a difference in the whole look. So I hope you enjoyed my very first 2011 holiday inspired tutorial. Stay tuned for more.